Corsets are fascinating, partly because of the social taboo of discussing undergarments in polite conversation, and because they're emblematic of the way one physical item can be attached to self-image, wellness, and culture. They've been designed for one purpose: to hold the waist to that standard of feminine appeal, the hourglass shape. Over time, it became clear that the use of the corset was negatively impacting physical, emotional, and social dimensions of wellness. Doctors talked about the physical dangers and body restriction, backing up what women were feeling, but the trend had taken off, and warnings went largely unheeded. As expectations of conformity increased, social wellness became tied to fitting in, and women forewent natural movement and healthy body mechanics to be accepted, desired, and considered ideally feminine. And this dilemma is not new. It still continues today. In fact, the corset itself continues on, with waist training for weight loss complete with celebrity endorsement. The determination to use corsets came from the desire to conform to body and beauty stereotypes. Fashion became more than a chance to show wealth and style through expensive fabrics. It became a status attainable only if you could fit. Fashion may be clothing, but being fashionable became a mark of social character. This type of message negatively impacts wellness, so let's take a look at how we can change that. What we have in the corset is the struggle for body authority, positive self-image, and a call to focus on wellness over conformity. As the rise of waist training shows the perseverance of unrealistic standards, here are 3 recommendations to resist that pressure. First, we can learn through history. The corset was most commonly used in periods where women did not have personal agency as we know it today. As the fight for women's rights increased, the use of the corset decreased. Women braved the glaring eye of society for the right to claim their own voice and dress their body as they saw fit, free from regulation. They believed emotional wellness and political wellness important enough to risk everything for, and it remains critical today. Second, we can remember the findings. Science presents the testimony from doctors over the last 2 centuries, explaining that fashion and social conformity is not worth the risk to our bodies. The need to move freely and breathe deeply is critical to physical and emotional health, and that makes it important to wellness, because we must first have the attitude that our bodies are strong and important so we can claim our right to health. And finally, through the social sciences, we have the psychology behind the attitudes. Pressure to conform leads to feelings of inadequacy and anxiety. In some cases, this can also lead to self-harm. On the other hand, body positivity, which comes from emotional wellness, supports confidence and social engagement. And studies show that body positivity triggers unexpected benefits, such as seeking medical screenings, using proper skin protection, and resisting unhealthy weight loss trends. In other words, acknowledging your personal beauty makes you uphold emotional wellness and thereby seek to nurture your body. The strength of my recommendations lie in their simplicity. By remembering that women have fought for body control and the right to hold their own voices, it's possible to draw necessary strength to sustain your own voice. It can be easy to think that history is no longer relevant, but this does a disservice to those who struggled to get us to this place. The body's a beautiful and powerful force, no matter its natural shape. And if this is hard to remember, rely on the guidance of science, which shows that attempting to physically mold yourself to a shape that fits a standard set by someone you don't know carries consequences that are detrimental to your health and well-being. And for me, the recommendation to listen to psychology is extraordinarily helpful because it lays out the pros and cons. Staying in the place of conformity yields anxiety and internal distress, yet if you cultivate body positivity and move away from unhealthy views, wellness increases and spills over to your psyche, your body, and your general outlook. There are challenges to going against social pressures. Beauty industries constantly reinforce the stigma that you can always be improved, and they have to do this because if they stopped, their livelihoods would stop. Going against the tide of social control and realizing that power is supplied by your mind is the hardest challenge you will face in embracing body positivity. Society tries to categorize and catalog beauty. It's human nature to create ideas of norms and standards and codes when people gather. But when you think of the things in life that truly captured your attention, chances are they were intriguing and interesting and unique. They did not fit the standard. There was a spark of something that reached beyond the expected, and so the challenge here lies in fighting the expectations. Many people will choose to stay in the lines of beauty standards, and they will not understand or feel obligated to disregard your movement towards self-acceptance. But as the women learned upon removing those final corsets, the deep inhale and sweet exhale sparks a new journey of wellness that's well worth the effort.